Question number 5. All right, so now let's see Ella's ratio table. Ella made a little mistake here, so we got to figure out where she went wrong. So her vase weighs 21 ounces after firing. So this is the given information, and we're trying to figure out the weight, the original weight. And if we go and look at her table, so she is starting with the same original ratio, 9-6. That's the same as in question 4. And we want to basically make that 6 into the 21. So we want to get from there to there. So then you got to say, all right, well, how am I going to do that? Well, the first thing that she did was, and this is where she went wrong. So she started by changing it to 3 ounces, which is a totally good strategy. And then she changed it to 1 ounce, and then she scaled it up. But to go from 6 to 3, and this is why it's good to add like the arrows and what you're doing. To go from 6 to 3, you would either have to divide by 2 or multiply by 1/2. I'm going to just put times 1/2. Now, if you look, how do I get from 9 to 18? It should be the same. We should be multiplying by 1/2 or dividing by 2. But if I take 9 and multiply it by 1/2 or divide it by 2, does that give me 18? It doesn't, okay? What she did here is that she multiplied the bottom by 1/2, and on the top, she multiplied by 2. And if I'm not doing the same thing to both parts of the ratio, I'm not going to create an equivalent ratio. And this is where Ella went wrong. So if I was going to give Ella some feedback, I would probably say she needs to perform, I'll say, the same multiplication. Oops, misspelling that. The same multiplication or division. That's why I became a math teacher. Or division operation on both parts of the ratio. And you could have worded this differently, or you might have a different way, but the important thing is to recognize where that error is. So really what should have happened here is, I'm going to cross this out. If I had multiplied this by 1/2, well, that would have taken her to 4.5 ounces. And then she's going to divide it by 3, or let's just keep with multiplication. Dividing by 3 is the same as multiplying by 1/3. So if I took 4.5 times 1/3, that is going to give me, let me cross this out, 1.5. And then to get from 1 to 21, I would have to multiply by 21. So I'm going to have to do the same thing up here, times 21. And if I took 21 times 1.5, that is going to give me, let's see. Now, how I would work this out, I mean, you could do it in your calculator or whatever, but this is how I would think about how to do 21 times 1.5. And whatever strategy you have is great. But I think of this as, what's 21 times 1? It's 21. And what's 21 times 0.5? Well, that's half of 21, which is 10.5. And then I would add 21 and 10.5 together. That's how my brain works on this one. But we've done a lot of mental math in this unit, like for our warm-ups. So however that works for you, that's cool. But my final answer should have been 31.5 ounces.